pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the Union Township Board of Trustees regular agenda meeting for December 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Mr. Campbell, please let the record show that all trustees are present. Mr. Campbell, is there any correspondence tonight?
Yes, sir, I have one. It's a liquor permit. It's a new permit for, and I'll apologize before I do it, but it's Taquueria, Nuevo, Nuevo, Leon, Leon, LLC. 834 State Route 125, Union Township, Ohio 45245. So the police department has no objections at this time. They are in compliance with the zoning. That concludes the correspondence.
All right, thank you, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you.
Proclamations and special presentations. Special presentation, John Becker and Joe Dills, Union Township Board of Trustees.
Well, Mr. Chairman, come on down.
Oh,
We got something for you.
okay. Surprise.
So Vice Chairman Dills and I would like to give you this plaque as for our appreciation of being the chairman for another term. And we thank you.
Thank you guys for the support this year. A few more, right? Thank you, guys. We are in the month of December.
Mike, as you make your way back up here, Mike's been the chairman, Mr. Logue's been the chairman for 12 months, and being a member or being vice chair is a lot easier than being the actual chairman. You have to conduct the cadence of the meeting, you have to absolutely pay attention to everything, keep everyone on point, keep everyone on timeline, strictness and all that, so it's very difficult and challenging, and you've done a solid job, Mr. Logue. Appreciate you very much. And this is your second time being chairman, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
thank you, because you both, I earned your trust, so thank you. That means a lot to me.
So well done, sir, and just a token of our appreciation. So thanks, Mike. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you both. Really do. Frankly, I think it demonstrates a board that's able to work together well. And in a large, busy township like ours, we don't always have easy decisions that are just simple black and white, and everyone can be yes, yes, yes on. And so it's great to have great people to be able to work together with on all those hard issues and continue to move the township forward. So thank you both, gentlemen. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Moving on, we have the Union Township Road Resurfacing Progress Reports and Presentation.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Logue. Mr. McCormick, can you load that presentation? I'll give him just a second to load that. Just got a couple of slides here. So I wanted to give the board an update on our progress report here and to kind of set the stage a little bit for a public hearing that we have this evening for the first of two public hearings for a proposed resolution on a License plate fee increase of $5 pursuant to ORC 4504181 to provide revenue specifically for the repair, maintenance, and construction of township roads. Can you go ahead and next slide? So this is kind of a snapshot of kind of what we've done in the last 5 or 6 years here. So you can see in 2020, and we show about 2% of our road miles paved each year. That was about 2.45 lane miles. And then the board has demonstrated an increase, each year thereafter. In 21, we were able to pave 3.72 lane miles, 22, 4.34 lane miles, and 23, about 5.38 lane miles. So in 24, that was really a banner year. There was some significant COVID monies associated with that. In 2024, ARPA funds, which had a de-obligation date on them, we were able to do 9.05 lane miles in 24, so we made significant headway. And then in 25, 7.43 lane miles. So you can see here in the last 2 years, we've kind of held serve on that with an increasing amount each year. And well, what does that mean from a maintenance expense? So we have limited funding that really provides and contributes to our road program. And traditionally, we have been Fund 23 permissive tax, which is plate fees essentially, distributions from the state, and then additional fees on that. And so each year, those revenues, in 2020, we collected about $394,000, $395,000. 21, $424,000, 22, $419,000, 23, $418,000, 24, $420,000, around $425,000. And then year to date, we've collected about $361,000, but we've got some distributions that are still coming. And we've received distributions, and the fiscal office can attest to that monthly. So we think we're going to be right around, that $425,000 mark. And so with that, we have committed, to advance, to address significant failures, to try to dig our way out of a hole here over the last several years, funding over and in excess of the permissive tax amount. And I think this graph does a really nice job of showing you kind of the flat line of our permissive tax collections, total paving projects, and then the excess spend, which is alternative revenue sources, which have been funded primarily, the excess has been primarily funded through carryover balances from the permissive fund, plus in addition TIF funding, ARPA funding, and then or a combination thereof. And so I think this tells a story that, and just for the board's, and the public's consumption, it costs us, and we go through the county's shared services pavement program. We actually have been able to significantly stretch our program through that and get additional roads for the budgeted dollar amounts, but they tell us to plan for about $200,000 to repave 1 lane mile of roads. And we have about 133 lane miles. So with that, wanted to go to the next slide here. I think there's several stages to an asphalt life cycle. So you have brand new streets, right? That's the first stage. You have, that's in great condition, minimal wear and tear. Stage 2, you see some small cracks, maybe some crack sealing, seal coating, maybe there's fog seal, cape seal, stuff like that you could do to prolong the pavement life. Minor repairs are where you get more significant cracking, small potholes, maybe you mill out a small base repair here and there. More significant interventions would be a stage 4 where you're literally either milling and filling, as we like to say, or milling and filling significant portions on sort of a patchwork basis, which we do have to do that from time to time. And then stage 5, which really the asphalt has reached the end of its life cycle where it needs to be replaced. And then you often, when you get into a road like that, you have to go in and incur significant expenses on full depth base repairs before you can even overlay with, the finished course. So what causes this? Well, really it's oxidation, water, wear and tear, traffic patterns. It can have to do with the initial installation methodology. Some of our streets are newer. They have curb and gutter, they have under drains, they have sump drains where the sumps go into the storm sewers. Older streets, they don't have sump drains. So all that moisture, one of the things we've observed, Mr. Taylor and I have observed over our many years working together, areas where there's excessive tree canopy over the road causes the roadway to hold more moisture. It seems like those areas wear more quickly than others. and some of that is just oxidation. It's part of the reason why the roads look black when they're new, and when they're old, they look grayish white. Everything's oxidizing, it's like anything else. So if we were to repave, go ahead and go to the next slide, Mark. So if we were to repave, between 7 and 8 miles annually, that puts us in a 16 to 19-year paving cycle, which would be on par with what I would say surrounding peer adjoining communities with similar populations, development patterns, and infrastructure and usage of Miami Township and Claremont County and Anderson Township and Hamilton. And so looking at that, in 2025, we did 7.43 lane miles at a cost of $1,047,200, which we were able to achieve a significant savings through the county's repavement program. I think Mr. Taylor can attest, outside the county, we're the largest resurfacing program member in that program. Is that correct, Mr. Taylor? Yep. So by buying in bulk, we can do more. And, just for reference, Anderson has about 123 lane miles. They resurfaced 8 last year, and their estimated cost was around $2.2 million. Miami was around $2.03 million, and they have 160 lane miles, and they resurfaced a little over 9 lane miles. So both of those communities are on a blended 16-year pavement replacement cycle. Some of the other county or other townships kind of to our east are more rural. They have fewer roads, different roadway construction methodologies. Obviously, their budgets are a little bit smaller than ours, and they kind of go all over the map on whether they pave more or less and all of that. So what we have before us is, in order to sustain our progress, and I think this graph kind of lays it out, and again, we have to budget based on, go back to the prior slide, Mark. We have to budget $200,000 a lane mile based on the estimation that the county engineer provides us with. Now, last year, we were able to get basically a much lower price per lane mile because of the partnership on that. In order to be on a 17-year paving cycle, the real cycle is about $1,560,000. That's based upon a $200,000 per lane mile. 15 years, $1,700,000. 20 years is $1,300,000. 25 is around $1 million, and 30 years is around $800,000. So at the end of the day, we're burning reserves trying to catch up here. So there's really 2 options. You have plate fees or you have dedicated millage. In Ohio, the assessed value is 35% of the market value. A mill in Union Township generates approximately $35 per 100,000 in market appraised value. Gross appraised values are close to $4.5 billion in the township. So do the math, roughly 1 mil dedicated road levy would generate between around $1,500,000 and $1,600,000 annually. But in the significant portion, and this is a hot topic in the state of Ohio right now, it's only shouldered by the property tax owners. Obviously, that's a significant concern. It's also a fixed sum levy, so it's subject to a reduction factor just like other levies are. Plate fees, we have an estimated 55,000 to 56,000 registered vehicles in the township. We would estimate the additional $5 plate fee could generate, on the low end, $275,000 annually, which would go straight back into Fund 23 to help us offset that and to allow us to continually make progress on the road program. And, just for reference, everybody wants to know what would a 1 mil levy cost. For a $200,000 home, you're looking at around $70 a year. $400,000 home, you're looking at about $140 a year. So, compare that to a typical household with 2.5 vehicles. Let's just say 3 vehicles, $15 a year for the plate fee. Full disclosure, I live in a community that has a road levy. I pay about $70. It's a reduced levy. Pay about $70 for it, and they resurface our roads every 15 years. And I think that one complaint in that where I've worked here almost, off and on 19 years, the roads are a significant concern for people. And I feel like we're making progress, and here's an opportunity for us, to continue that with a modest user fee increase that everybody pays, everybody with a vehicle pays, and, just wanted to present this for the board's consideration. Here's a snapshot here, what these 2 things are, and this is just distilling it down very simply. These are really your 2 options, otherwise you're burning reserves. And, but I think, we're hopeful in 26. We've got a pretty aggressive, even with, we've got a couple of big capital projects So we scaled back our investment related, you have to upgrade your CAD center. 911 and public safety is of the utmost importance. Infrastructure and security is of the utmost importance. And we have to do more than just roads. We have to, fund our police department. We have to fund our 911 center. We have to fund our fire departments. We have to fund other things. We have to continually improve parks. So you sort of pivot, and we hope that through the county's paving partnership that we've been able to, and you'll see a resolution tonight, to advance that for 26, which, by and large has been very positive. We'll be able to hopefully achieve more bang for our buck again this year as we have previously. So that's really all I have. I know we got a lot on the agenda tonight. I wanted to be brief, but I wanted to update the board, and happy to answer any questions you might have.
Trustee Dills, any questions?
Mr. Wright, well done. I mean, that was very simple, elementary student could understand, so well done, very descriptive, very informative, so. And we'll have a difficult decision to make tonight, so good job, appreciate you.
Trustee Becker.
No, very nice presentation.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Personnel actions, there are none. Public comments, we have public comment cards at the back table corner there, available for anyone that wants to speak. I do have some public comment cards that have been turned in here, and I see you listed out is for zoning case tonight for the public hearing, and also the license plate levying permissive motor vehicle tax fee, that public hearing. So it's important that if you want to speak on those two issues, that you speak during that public hearing portion. You're more than welcome to come up now for public comment, but we're going to ask you to come up as proponent or opponent during public hearing for those specific times, and that's the legal requirement of the public hearing that opens. So if there's anyone that has a comment for public comment that just wants to come up and speak, if you've either turned in your card or have not, you're more than welcome to come up now. So I see a zoning case, I see one for Beechwood Road, which I'm assuming is
Zoning case.
Jared Burgess, also for the zoning case. Jared, is that for the zoning case? Oh, I guess, he was standing up. Yeah, I see Summer, Bill Skiba, is that for the zoning case? Okay. Jane, zoning case, license, motor vehicle license. Okay. I see a gentleman. Are you wanting to come up for public comment now? Or
Yeah, well, no, just for the rezoning.
for those, okay. All right.
You don't have to fill that out right now if you don't want.
We'll just swear you in when you come up. Yeah, you don't need to fill that out. I know it's the rules of keep this a clean operation and transparent and accountable. And sometimes it can be a little confusing. What's public comment versus public hearing? But not seeing any public comment further for tonight, gentlemen. We're gonna move forward with the agenda for department reports. And everyone that turned in a card, that will hear you during public hearing. Yes, ma'am.
There always seem to be enough of these zoning proposals or planning report from the,
Some that were printed off at the back of the room. They are gonna get presented up here, but if you want physical copies too, I got another physical copy, and we can make a physical copy. We can, yeah. And we can definitely make them available to you as a digital copy. It's a public record, so you're absolutely welcome to have it. Yeah. All right, moving forward to department reports. Fire and Emergency Medical Services, Chief Austin Clements.
Thank you, Mr. Logue. With this being the final trustee meeting of 2025, I just want to take a quick moment to just kind of thank the board, thank the fiscal office and the administrator, Mr. Wright, and more importantly, thank the men and women of the department. We've had a significant, or an excellent year, and I appreciate all the support shown by everybody. In the month of November, we responded to 141 fire and service calls, 596 EMS details. We had patient contact with 527 patients and transported 425 patients to local hospitals. We completed 1,386 hours of training, handled 12 public education details, hosted an EMT for ride time with a total of 10 hours, completed one life safety inspection, and one inspection in conjunction with the Claremont County Building Department. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Trustee Dills?
Chief Clemens, great job on your first year. I think you are forgetting something, that event that happened this week where you had absolutely, but I'll let you explain what happened this past week at the Wawa gas station grand opening. I mean, if you'd like to have those honors, sir. I know Chief Reese would like to hear those.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Dills.
You're welcome, sir. Anytime.
As many saw, the Wawa recently opened in the township, and Wawa was kind enough to invite both the police department as well as the fire department to attend. And there was a friendly competition there of
How'd that go?
hoagie building competition between the two departments. It was how many hoagies one could build as a team.
What's the
I think
time?
it was a two minutes, how many hoagies you could build. I don't- Chief Reese, I don't know if you have any recollection of the event.
I don't have any comments.
I think it was 22 for the fire department and 16 for the police department.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, but we like to win with humility, so I appreciate you bringing it up.
You demonstrated great teamwork, effort, communication, everything that great leader, great skills. I appreciate that. Well done. You represented us well.
Thanks,
Yeah. That's all I got, Chairman.
Thanks. Trustee Becker?
No, I got nothing.
All right, Police Department Chief Anthony Reese.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. The month of November, the Communications Center handled 4,922 calls for service for police and fire and EMS, and 5,017 total calls. Our Records Department processed 464 juvenile and adult-related documents for court. We processed 3 Rule 16s for the prosecutor's office, issued 1 vendor permit, handled 139 records requests, and redacted 59 videos pertaining to body cameras. In the area of public affairs, we graduated our 20th Citizen Police Academy back in early November. Again, that program continues to be very popular, and we had another really good class of civilians come through there. In the Operations Bureau, the Patrol Division, we took 336 incident reports, 145 crash reports, made 511 traffic stops, issued 207 citations, 369 written warnings, made 54 criminal arrests, 89 traffic arrests, and served 81 warrants. In the area of training, our officers attended 136 hours of training in the month of November. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Trustee Dills?
Sorry for both chiefs. Do either one of you have current staffing openings, firefighter, police department?
Police
Full
Department has
staff?
no openings, sir.
Good to go? Okay.
We're currently full.
Great. Chief Reese, same thing. Great year. No complaints at all. Top notch. Well done. So appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Trustee Becker?
Yeah, Chief Reese, on call-out reports, there was another interesting item. This is, I guess, a second incident, but the third time this same establishment. So it's an attempted ATM jackpotting occurred at the Fairfax Credit Union in Ivy Point. I'm curious, is there a billboard out on the expressway that says, "Come rob us" or something? I mean, they seem to be targeted a lot lately. There was, I guess, 2 unknown suspects, I guess, were caught on camera. They didn't get away with any money. The car, I guess, license plate were identified. I guess the flock cameras were involved in this. They were apprehended in Indiana. Multiple suspects identified, and they were of or at least there was one in custody of a Venezuelan nationality. Is this an illegal alien again?
I'm not sure on his immigration status, sir.
Okay. What can you tell us about what happened here and what's going on with Fairfax and why are they such a target?
I can't tell you a whole lot because that's an ongoing investigation right now. That is definitely a growing trend we're seeing all across the country, are these jackpotting is what they're calling them, these incidents at these ATMs. Fortunately, I think Fairfax did a really good job of learning their lesson after the first offense. They modified their security was able to catch it, and I think thwart this most recent attempt. The only thing I can tell you right now is that we were able, in another jurisdiction, in another state, able to identify a suspect vehicle, and we do have charges on at least one suspect, and I'm pretty confident that we'll identify the other two before we're done, so. But the investigation is ongoing.
All right, great. Yeah, another detail in here that there's, I guess, tamper censoring on these ATM. I don't know anything about it. I'm just learning this for the first time reading this. And I guess when it was illegally or unauthorized opening of it, it automatically shut down. So it became inoperable and it locked itself down so it couldn't get anything. Does that sound accurate?
Yeah, Sheriff Fax increased their security measures, so I'm pretty sure that was the reason they were unsuccessful.
All right, good. All right, thank you, Chief. That's all I have.
You're welcome.
Service Department, Mr. Matthew Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Logue. In the Cemetery Division, from November 1st through the 30th, 9 burials were performed, generating $5,975. 14 resident graves were purchased for $9,800. 2 non-resident graves were purchased, generating $3,400. 3 columbarium niches were purchased, generating $5,200. The total amount generated for the period was $24,843. In the Parks Division, staff installed the Christmas lights at the Civic Center, and they continue to do seasonal cleanup and maintenance in the landscape areas and other township properties. In the Road Division, staff repaired a total of 80 potholes on 6 township roads. And the road department staff also performed maintenance and outfitted the trucks for the upcoming snow season, and township roads were treated for snow and icy conditions on December 2nd. That concludes my report, but I also wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Trustee Dills.
Mr. Taylor, great job for the winter storm that we had. Yeah, good job, appreciate it, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Becker.
No, good.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Planning and Zoning, Mr. Mark McCormick.
Thank you. For the month of November, in terms of enforcement inspections, we had 51 inspections, 4 complaints, 3 unfounded complaints, 1 warning citation, 11 cases resolved. We had 378 illegal signs removed, and 8 violations for the monthly total, 12 re-inspections, and 2 nuisances filed. In terms of permit activity for November, we had 2 commercial permits, 1 change of use, 9 signs, 2 single-family dwellings, 1 addition, 2 accessory structures, 7 pools or fence permits, 24 permits for the month, a revenue of $6,875 for the Planning and Zoning Department. And then we also took in $825 for the Fire Department revenue. And that concludes my report. One other thing I was going to add is we are still trying to encourage people to apply for the zoning board because we do have at least 2 vacancies, and we would potentially have up to 3. And so we are trying to get the word out, and if anyone knows of a resident who's interested, certainly please encourage them to apply. You can have them contact me, or there's also a spot on the website on the lower left-hand corner that one can click on and get the information they need.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. Trustee Dills.
Mr. Record, good report, thank you, sir.
Trustee Becker.
Nothing from Mr. McCormick, but I did think of a comment, Mr. Taylor, though. So regarding last week's snow event, I guess what was unusual is I heard no complaints at all from anybody. And usually next doors lit up with them. At least they were last year.
I hacked your next door account.
Was that what it was?
No.
No, it was all compliments. And, yeah, your team just did a fabulous job. Just wanted to pass that on.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Sharon.
Thanks. All right, moving forward. Township Administration, Mr. Corey Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. I'll be brief. You know, a lot of items we're just working through. You know, after kind of the last 2 months of the year, you kind of work through, you try to just keep blocking and tackling throughout, you know, 12/31 and hit the ground running in 2026. Just a couple of updates. Our access control system upgrades continues. That is a ton, that is a ton of work. Commend Chief Reese for loaning us Lieutenant Blankenship and his expertise. And from a security perspective and organizational perspective, and Brandon Miller's work on that, because that is a big project. And so that is a much-needed project that will continue. And I know that we've had some initial discussions on the CAD upgrades as well, and we're prepared to, you know, start advancing those in 26. We are waiting on the state of Ohio to release the township to secure the EV chargers. I know we've talked about that. It seems like that's, hurry up and wait on that. I think there's one more document that they have to look at from an environmental perspective. It is what it is. So we're almost there. Service garage renovations continue. Furniture's been delivered. There's just waiting on some odds and ends to come in, and Matt's crews are essentially, I think, sort of functioning mostly out of there now from a snow and ice perspective, and all things seem to be going well in that regard. As I mentioned to the board at the last meeting, our OPWC applications for the slide, I think for the slide repairs, scored fairly well. The old 74 project, Elmont, did score very well. So I will advise the board when we receive official confirmation from OPWC on that funding. We are, just a little note, because I get asked about this from time to time, with the recent improvements to Klepper Park, we get asked about pedestrian access. And we are studying pedestrian accessibility improvements along Summerside, kind of from Claddy, Virginia, all the way down to Merida, to kind of enhance connectivity in that, and with the goal of basically having concept level stuff to submit for OKI grants or systemic safety grants and all of that. So really that's about loading the cannon for future, you know, funding opportunities to enhance pedestrian, you know, walkability, so more neighborhoods can get to the park without having to get in their car and drive. We did submit the Safe Routes to School grant application, so I'll advise the board on that when I hear more. The fire department is in the process of implementing all the legislation and initiatives that the board passed last meeting. We do have a couple of new TIF districts that are proposed. That's really for the board's consideration. We've notified the school district. We're still working through the acquisition process on the Klepper Lane excess land with ODOT. That continues to be a little bit of a grind, but I think we'll get there at some point. Just a point of clarification for the board. So the public hearing tonight is on proposed resolution 2025-72, just a little bit of housekeeping. We do assign our resolution numbers just from an organizational perspective so we can track them as they come in. That's not for adoption tonight. That is for information only. You have to have 2 public hearings before the board can act on them. The second public hearing is noticed and scheduled for a special meeting to occur on 12/15, Monday 12/15, December 15th at 6 p.m. So, and that's been noticed. It's on our EMC signs, everything. I do have a motion for the board to consider ratification of collective bargaining modifications and a new contract for 2 of the 3 divisions within the Union Township Police Officers Association, specifically Sergeant and Patrol divisions. I have a motion for the board to complete the process of transferring maintenance and reporting obligations for the iconic Huey Helicopter Memorial that we've been working with Chapter 649 to assure that that continues to remain as they continue to age and their membership declines, both on a local and national level. They're very concerned about making sure that the torch is passed, and obviously we've been here since 1811, and we're conducting maintenance now, and it's a pretty seamless process to do that. The board will need to establish their 2026 reorganizational meeting, and there's an item on the agenda for that. I do need to request that the board table Resolution 2025-73, which is a TIF extension with West Claremont. Really, it's just a housekeeping issue with the district that we just need a little bit more time to work through a couple of items, and we may bring that back before the end of the year or early next year, but I would just request to table that at this time. 2025-74 is for a tax increment financing district associated with the Marion Senior Development TIF. 2025-75 is our road resurfacing reauthorization. And that, I kind of put a note in there about CAD and access control being priorities for the upcoming fiscal year. 2025-76 is for the adoption of a Union Township reasonable accommodations policy, which is a compliance item from a late 2022 settlement with Housing Opportunities Made Equal in regards to a long-running land use and enforcement case in Mount Carmel. And then we have 2 year-end fiscal resolutions, one for the amended permanent appropriations. That's a housekeeping item. Basically, the appropriations have to match the fund amounts that are expended for the year. The Finance Office, Mr. Campbell's office, Cindy White, Shelley Cobb do a great job on that housekeeping item, and I appreciate their support on that. And then also, so we can keep the trains running in 2026, we have our 2026 annual permanent appropriation, which again, we adjust, if not quarterly, periodically throughout the year. So this will get us off and running so we can issue purchase orders upon the start of calendar year 2026. A couple other things. I wanted to thank Mr. Taylor and Ms. R. for their work on the road program update. They did a great job putting together an easy-to-understand presentation and kind of gathering facts, because I have to organize my distracted thoughts from time to time, and I think they did a great job with that, and I appreciate their support in that regard. And, to echo Chief Clemens's comments at the end of, his report, I want to thank the board for the opportunity to continue to lead, a great township, a great organization. We have great department heads, we have great employees, we have best employees, and I'd like to thank, everyone here for another great year, 2025 being in the books, in service to the residents and stakeholders here of the township. So with that, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Trustee Dills.
Mr. Wright, great report. And I didn't realize, thank you, Ms. R. for putting that together, and Ms. Taylor for all the data there. I didn't realize you two did that. Thank you. Mr. Wright, I think we had a fantastic year with you at the helm. And, the board's temperature for the township is we want development, but we want smart development. This is not Hamilton County, and I don't want it to ever be Hamilton County. There's a reason why I don't live there. And so I want to preserve what green space we have left. We don't need to, what's that old saying, pave paradise and put up a parking lot. We don't have to do that everywhere. And, but when we do have development, we want it to be smart development that's needed. And so he's done a good job at that. And that's the direction that we've kind of guided him to. And great job at that, Mr. Wright. You do a great job at navigating that. And so appreciate you being our administrator and leading this township. So thank you, sir. Yeah.
Trustee Becker.
No, nothing good.
Okay. All right. With that, gentlemen, we'll keep us moving tonight. Winner of the public hearing is for the Union Township Resolution 2025-72, resolution levying permissive motor vehicle license tax of $5 pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 4504.181, to provide revenue for repair, maintenance, and construction of township roads. Mr. Wright, so what's the structural format for this?
So basically, I can just give a recap on the resolution. The resolution's fairly straightforward. It has been appropriately noticed in accordance with the provisions of Revised Code 4504.181. The resolution is very straightforward, page and a half, very short for a legislation. Basically levies a additional $5 plate fee pursuant to 4504.181, and I think I hit on this in my road program update presentation, trying to be as efficient as possible. Generate, on the low end, around $275,000 a year that we'll dump straight back into the road program to kind of offset the reserves that we have been burning through, and hope that we continue to achieve cost savings through our partnership with Claremont County to do the road resurfacing program. So that's really all we have. Procedurally, we will need a motion to open the public hearing and a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay.
And then there's no action on the resolution this evening, and as I indicated, there'll be a second special meeting on December 15th, Monday, at 6:00 p.m. because of the statutory requirements to have both hearings in a certain time period, so.
All right, do we have that motion to open Union Township Resolution 2025-72?
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
The public hearing is open at 6:41 PM.
Okay. So we've heard the resolution. It's been publicized for everyone's availability to receive and read. I've got Joanne Germer here. Would you like to come on up, Joanne? And it's a public hearing, so I do have to,
I only have one question.
I have to, it's a public hearing, so I have to
Oh.
swear you in for the record. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Great. And can you give your name and your full address for the record, please?
And I'm Joanne Germer, and I live at 4680 Tealtown Road.
Thank
Is
you,
that
ma'am.
what you need?
I'm fine either way, but there might be someone somewhere that won't be happy if I don't do that right, so.
I have only one question as far as these license plate taxes. Does that include the business automobiles also? Or are they exempt from that? Because if they are,
Every
that's not
license-
fair to the
every plate.
Every plate.
residential people.
Registered in the town.
Every plate
Every
registered in the
plate
township.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Every plate that is registered in the township.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
all
It-
I wanted to know. Thank you.
Just a point of clarification, the Department of Taxation has an extended implementation process on this, so the effective date would be 1/1 of 2027 if adopted, because I guess, and I didn't really realize this, but if you really think about it, I guess I could drive to Cleveland and renew my plates at a BMV there if I needed to for, where I live. I mean, you can renew your plates pretty much anywhere, right? So they have to get that out. So like
They
they're,
ask what township you live in.
Yes,
when you
they do,
offer your plates
but-
anyway.
there's probably I don't even know how many BMVs there are in Ohio. I mean, there are 300, 400, 500 of them, I don't know. I mean, they're everywhere. So they have to, so the Department of Taxation sets like a delayed fuse on the implementation of that. They need time to implement it to get it out to all the BMVs. But yeah, it would be all the plates registered in the township.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Tom Irwin? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. All right, please give your name, full right name for the record and address, please.
My name is Tom Irwin, and I live at 455 Weingarten Drive. Actually, the road report covered a lot of thoughts or potential questions I have, so I appreciate that. And this may be harping on specific wording. What in this revised code proposal, it refers to vehicles on public roads in the unincorporated territory of the township. I'm just kind of curious what's considered an unincorporated territory. Does,
You want to
So
answer
the
the
township
technicality of that?
the township by itself is unincorporated.
okay,
And then when they talk about unincorporated versus incorporated areas, they're talking about villages and cities, municipalities, basically. So
Okay.
our territory is all unincorporated.
okay.
We're not a city.
Right, well,
Yep.
right.
That's just the way to think of it.
About
and
29
all the
square
space
miles.
in
For
between.
some reason, I got hung up on that
No, I
wording, and
understand.
it just kind of got stuck in my head. And I'm starting to kind of understand, just even in listening tonight, how things maybe go from the state down to the township level, but since, I guess, around July of 2019, Governor DeWine had increased the gas tax where that was supposed to bring in additional revenue for infrastructure and roads, bridges, et cetera. And then I think in 2020, they also added the additional registration fees for hybrid and electric vehicles. With all that additional funding coming in at the state level, how does that maybe, or does it trickle down to a township?
We receive a small portion of gas tax revenues. Mr. Campbell, what is is that Fund 2 or 3? I don't remember which one that is. 3. So we do have a Fund 3. We receive a few $1,000s. Is it, around 60-ish thousand?
Well, year-to-date, 631,000.
630, yeah. So that funds, and then there's 2 is the smaller one. What was that? Is that,
That's Motor vehicle
motor
license.
vehicle, yeah, license. So there's 2 is motor vehicle license, 3 is gas tax. We receive around $600,000 from the gas tax revenues, but that also helps pay for the the maintenance of that, plus, we have staff, we have equipment to maintain the roads and all of that.
Okay.
And so traditionally, the township has plowed 23, which is where the license plate fees come into, and that's the 20, the 20, is that the 25?
2023 permissive tax.
Yeah,
law.
that's what we get back from the state. So like on the EVs, that's extra, we don't really see that or whatever. And then, we're really limited to what the gas tax collections are, plus, whatever plate fees we levy. That's what we generate.
So give you an example, Fund 2 is our motor vehicle license fund. We've collected $61,000
That's the
year to date.
61,000.
So it's not a lot in that.
No,
So,
considering, like even the gas tax alone, when they first were increasing it, the projection was that they'd make almost $1 billion a year, or in revenue, towards, the infrastructure, et cetera. And, I mean, obviously, bridges and things are extremely expensive, but, yeah, I just was kind of curious, because without really a broader understanding, I was thinking, why they would need the additional $5 tax, if you're bringing in, billions of dollars, at the state level. But again, I just wanted to understand how it gets
so
down.
the short answer is, it doesn't trickle down.
Yeah.
I'm getting that impression.
Yeah.
But those are the only questions I had, so thank you very much.
Well.
Thank you.
And I apologize, I had that 60,000 number in my head, that was the Fund 2, sorry. I got it. So,
All right. Is anyone else here to speak for the public hearing on the license plate levy? Okay, I'll have a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
The public hearing is closed at 6:48 PM.
All right, moving forward. Public hearing, item Union Township zoning case 3-25-Zulu. Mr. McCormick, if you could do a intro for us on this zoning case, and then we'll have a motion to open the public hearing. We'll hear from the applicant, proponents, opponents, and we'll see where we go from there to take board comments.
Okay, case 325-Z, applicants Marion Development Group, site location. There are 2 address properties, 4662 Beechwood Road and 4676 Beechwood Road. One's vacant, one is actually a home that someone lives in. 2 different owners, Charter Commercial for 4662, and the Brewbakers are at 4676. Parcel numbers correspond. Left side goes with the left address and owner, right side goes with the right side owner and address. Total combined acreage is around 4.58, and the existing zoning is R2, proposed to be rezoned to planned development. This slide here shows the subject properties. 32 is to the south. Old Beechwood Road is just to the southwest of the property. Request is to establish a 118-unit assisted living facility. This is the zoning of the property, which is R2, surrounded to the southeast and northeast R2, and then to the west and northwest is R1. This is the site from the oblique imagery. It includes the house to the north, but I'm only able to select one parcel at a time. So you can kind of get an idea what it looks like in a little more 3-dimensional view. This area is not specifically within a focus area, so there are no specific recommendations regarding land use patterns and policy for this area. The proposed project is considered an institutional type of use, more so than multifamily, because this is assisted living, so this is not apartments. The tenure of the people living in there, from what I understand, would be roughly 2 to 3 years, because a lot of times what happens is they transition to a fully assisted living facility at some point. This is about 500 to 800 feet, depending on how you measure, north of the Mount Carmel Business Focus area. And so from that standpoint, and it's not, the proposed use is not out of line with what the uses are in those areas, but it is not necessarily, it's not within that area, it's just to the north. Indicated in here as well, some information from the comp plan in terms of the aging population on page 2. This is the site with some topography overlay, including again, the parcel to the north is included in this application. On pages 3 and 4 indicated the Article 6 sections from the zoning resolution that are applicable for plan development applications for your consideration. I'll pause here. The background of the property has been zoned single-family detached R2 residential since the township map was initiated in the late 1950s. Proposed development is what you see here on the slide, and it's a 29,820 square foot footprint for that 118 unit affordable assisted senior living facility. Overall peak height of the building was intended to be 55 feet 2 inches. All proposed units would be studio and 1-bedroom units. The amenities are listed there in the staff report on page 5. All the setbacks requirements would be met, with the closest setback being the 23-foot 5-inch front western setback from the new proposed increased road right-of-way for Beechwood Road. So they're proposing to increase the road right-of-way, and in so doing, the setback is in some ways larger than it appears to be, and from the original proposal that it is higher than what was originally proposed. Here's the overlay of the site with the landscaping plan that was proposed. Review of the development more or less indicates that the plan results in positive redevelopment. It would result in positive redevelopment of the site, approximately a $45 million project, with the brick face and fiber cement lap siding. Adequate landscaping and screening plans have been provided. We did make some suggestions that the applicant has incorporated for the most part, and are still proposing a berm if the project would move forward along Beechwood. There's a single access point which would have to be approved by the county engineer's office. There are 60 total parking spaces, and I think a third of the people that actually live here are expected to have vehicles. The remaining spots are for the workers and for the visitors. There's approximately right at 2 acres of open space proposed, and monument signage would be proposed for the site. Zoning recommendation, or zoning commission met on November 19th of last month and voted unanimously to approve the applicant's request to the Board of Trustees. However, they took all of the recommended modifications that are at the end of this report, and they also added 2 others, those 2 specifically being, and I will quote, "To maintain harmony with the surrounding housing, the maximum height of the building shall be 35 feet, and traditional pitched roofing shall be used instead of proposed flat roof." And so all of those things listed later in the staff report were recommended, plus those 2 things. Real quickly, this is the slides. The site's on the right on Beechwood. Site's on the right here, looking across the road on Beechwood. Looking northeast of the property from right-of-way, across the street. Looking north along Beechwood at the site on the right. Looking north with the site on the right. Looking northwest at west neighboring property, across Beechwood. Looking south along existing right-of-way of Beechwood. Looking southwest at west neighboring property, and looking south at property from right-of-way. This is within the site, northwest from within the site, southwest from within the site, south at south neighboring property line towards Tecumseh, looking east towards the proposed parking lot location, and east towards the proposed building location, and then southeast at proposed rear parking lot location, and north at proposed access and parking location. Already went over these staff comments and had added the 2 that I mentioned from the zoning commission. In terms of the Action required in accordance with Article 6, Sections 680 to 687. Board of Trustees' role is either to enter a motion to recommend approval, approval with some modifications, or denial of the applicant's request to rezone of the subject property as submitted, and/or with any further modifications as deemed appropriate. I did receive one written comment, and I did forward that to you, and I believe that person was unable to make the zoning commission meeting in November, but she is here tonight. And with that said, do you have any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. Trustee Dills?
Mr. McCormick, good job. I want to make sure I heard correctly. Zoning approved 35-foot, but the proposal tonight we're looking at is 55 feet high. Is that correct?
So yes, the 35 feet number was recommended or required and is part of the zoning commission motion. I can tell you from speaking with the applicant, because we did follow up with them, that they're going to speak here in a moment, and they're going to indicate that they are, for the project to work, they need the 55 feet, is what they're saying.
Okay, okay. And then, ballpark. How many people were opposed or for this project at the zoning meeting?
At the
Ballpark.
zoning meeting, I don't recall the exact number of people, but
ballpark.
we probably had about 15 people here, maybe a couple more. Most people that spoke, which is not atypical, had concerns or were against the project. We had one gentleman, other than the applicant, speak from the community, and I don't know that he indicated that he was for the project, but he spoke more along those lines. He's here at our meetings typically for the
What was the main
trustees.
What was the main focus? 100% against it, or were they for it with modifications? Like, what was the main temperature?
I think there were main concerns were the height in comparison with what's around it, and then concern with access and traffic on Beechwood was another big one.
Thank you, Mr. McCormick. That's all I got, sir.
Trustee Becker?
I don't have anything, Chairman.
Okay. Gentlemen, at this time, I ask a motion to open the public hearing for case 3-25-Zulu.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
The public hearing is open at 6:58 PM.
Okay. I'd like to ask the applicants to come up. I'll swear you in for the record. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so I hope you got it.
I do.
Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, it's Cliff Ashburner with Dinsmore and Shoal, 255 East Fifth Street, Suite 1900, Cincinnati. Thank you all. Thank you, trustees. I'd like to introduce our team very quickly. Jared Burgess with the Marion Group is here. He's going to be available for questions. And Bill Skiba with Kinley Horn is also here. I want to run through these slides as quickly as I can. I also want to give you a fair amount of information about how we got to where we are. And one other thing I just want to mention before we start, Mr. McCormick and Mr. Wright have both been very, very good to work with, very transparent with us. We understand the concerns that the community has raised. We did have a neighborhood meeting before the zoning commission. Those several residents appeared. Residents on Tecumseh, as you might imagine, had concerns about the difference between the height of their homes and the height of the building. And that was again expressed at the zoning commission, and I expect that tonight it will be expressed again. And that's totally understandable. I want to provide for you all tonight an understanding of why the building is the way it is, why it has been designed the way it's been designed, what our client has done to try to mitigate that difference in the height between the surrounding buildings and what's there, and why, while we appreciate the zoning commission's recommendation of approval as to the use, we cannot accept the conditions that were placed on the proposal by the zoning commission. So First, even before we get to a slide, I'll just tell you a little bit about Marion Development Group is a Louisville-based company, Louisville, Kentucky-based company. They have been in residential construction, multifamily, and now into assisted living. They call the assisted living communities that they create Vivera. Vivera is a name you may hear tonight, especially if you speak with Jared. And the first Vivera location was in Columbus, Indiana. That building was designed in anticipation of what residents might need and in conjunction with an operator that Marion was working with. The second location was built in Jeffersonville, Indiana. That building looks different than the one that was built in Columbus, Indiana. Because during the operation of the Columbus facility, Marion and its operating partner learned a little bit about how best to work with their residents, how best to work with operations in order to provide a high-quality product. Since Jeffersonville has opened, they've again refined the design, and that's the design that we're showing to you tonight. So I just want you to understand, this design was not the back of a cocktail napkin. Wouldn't this building look cool? This has really come about after years and years of experience, and frankly, two other buildings that they realized while they were very proud of them, they could be improved. So if you would go to the first slide. We looked at this before. This is the subject property and the surrounding area. Obviously, you've got a mix of residential. Directly adjoining the property to the south along Tecumseh, you have single-family homes. Those are primarily single-story, single-family homes. To the north, you have some townhomes, and even beyond that, you have some larger multifamily developments. Those are 2 to 3 stories. If you'll go to the next slide, please. This is the Vivera Summerside building. So it is 4 stories. The 55-foot height, 55 feet 2 inches, is to the tallest parapet. So that's not a consistent height across the entirety of the building, but that is to that peak. This building is, if you want to think about it, it's kind of 2 wings. The center of the building is the reception area. It's where the dining facilities are. It's where most of the common facilities that serve the residents that live there are located, as well as offices and things like that. And those common areas carry up from first floor to second floor. You might have smaller common areas, third floor, smaller common areas. I'll go through a few of those amenities. If you would go ahead and advance the slide. So just so we all kind of understand what it is we're talking about when I talk about assisted living. You can think of the stages of living as independent. So you're either in a home or an apartment completely taking care of yourself. You have nobody coming to assist. On the other end of the spectrum, you have skilled nursing. So that is somebody who probably needs a lot of help during the day, may need help getting, multiple people to help them get out of bed, that sort of thing. This bridge time is assisted living. So this is somebody who can, most of the time, take care of themselves, but needs assistance with dressing, needs assistance with medical reminders, things like that. So, and it is a transitional period, and what Marion has found, along with their operating partner Gardent, is that the health outcomes for people in assisted living are actually better than people who go straight from independent to skilled nursing. And a lot of that comes from the programming that's provided to the residents, and their ability to socialize and be together. In a nursing situation, I know my father spent the last couple of years of his life in a nursing home. It can be very isolating, and it is not always an environment where people are feeling good and moving forward as much as they are. It can be very isolating. So some of the things that are provided in assisted living, as you can see here, you've got the normal assistance that you see there, medication set up, obviously meals are cooked. One thing that I believe Mr. McCormick mentioned is these are not multifamily units. These are more or less rooms, so they're either 1 bedroom spaces or they are studio spaces. Each of these spaces has a kitchenette in it, which is a microwave and a small refrigerator, but they do not actually cook in their personal space. They go and eat together. There's ongoing health monitoring. Obviously, all of the living spaces are completely ADA compliant and accessible, along with lots of opportunities for residents, should there be an issue, to pull a string, let somebody out in the common area know that they need assistance. And then there's a lot, as I mentioned before, social, wellness, educational, and recreational activities. I've toured the Jeffersonville facility a couple of times. Their big event every year is a trunk or treat that they put on for the community. And it is beloved by the residents and the community in which it is located. Can we go to the next slide, please? So these are photos of the living spaces. As I mentioned before, they look very much like either a studio apartment or a one-bedroom apartment, with the exception of the kitchenette as opposed to a kitchen. So it's more of an institutional use, less of, this is compelling stuff. Less of an independent living operation. If you go to the next slide. So these are some of the amenities. These photos are from the Jeffersonville location. As the photo on the left there is the reception area and kind of a gathering place within the first floor. Photo on the right is the library. That's on the fourth floor of that location. If you go ahead and advance the slide. One other thing that they have a dedicated hair salon where they also have a canteen. They also have a medical facility that's on the premises. Those are not staffed 24 hours a day, but they do bring in health professionals who can see people as needed. In the case of the salon, of course, there are people who are rotating through there and providing those services for residents. And then one thing that's key when we're talking about traffic especially is the transportation that's provided. Most residents, and I think you all can probably imagine, the number of people who qualify to need assisted living, who also drive, that the overlap of that is relatively small. So some people do show up with a vehicle. Some people, a very limited number of people, will continue to use that vehicle. And what Marion has found, as people live there longer, they like the camaraderie of getting on the van and going to outings with the group. If you go to the next slide. So, as I mentioned before, there are some folks behind me who live in the area who will probably be very happy with the conditions that the Zoning Commission placed on the project. We have, obviously, we've not been able to reach complete agreement, but we have tried through this process, through talking with them during the neighborhood meeting, and then hearing from the Zoning Commission, to do what could be done on the site, understanding that we can't really chop the building in half. This was the original landscape plan. One thing I'll mention is this has since been augmented, so the plant material that you see there will remain, but if you'll go ahead and advance. We did incorporate, especially along the southern boundary, a significant berm, so that plant material now, instead of being at grade, would be on I think it's on the plan, is a 4.5-foot berm that runs basically the entire length of the site between the building and those residences on Tecumseh. We also took Mr. McCormick's suggestion about scooting the building to the east in order to provide more space adjacent to Beechwood. If you go ahead to the next slide. So one area where, and I've said it before, we just have, hopefully a respectful disagreement with the Zoning Commission's recommendation, is looking at your plan development regulation. The Zoning Commission focused on a statement of intent, which was to allow for developments that are harmonious with the surrounding properties. And that is a perfectly laudable and legitimate statement of intent. However, when you look at the plan development regulation itself, so that, okay, what do we think as a community? matches what's around, you have some objective requirements. And I think when you look at any of those objective requirements, the proposal really compares favorably. So the SNP on the left is actually from the plan. You can see the setback data. So the west parking setback, the requirement's 5 feet. We're providing almost 5 times that. The northern landscape buffer area, we're meeting that. On the west, it's 10 feet. We're providing 23 and a half. On the south, it's 20 feet. We're providing nearly 55 feet, plus that berming and landscaping that I spoke about. And then on the east, we've got 20-foot requirement and 55 feet that we're providing there in landscaping. In addition, when you look at just some highlighted sections of the plan development code section, 684.3, the requirement is 10% landscaping. We're providing about 50% landscaping. Now, I recognize that the definition of landscaping includes areas that are heavily landscaped, where there's a lot of focused plant material and open space, but still that's a significant distinction between the requirement and what we're providing. 687.9, you've got a requirement, the maximum building coverage is 35%. The proposed building coverage here is only 17%. So, you know, it is a more compact building, although it is taller than you might expect. And then, and I think this is important, the maximum building height, it says 75 feet. The proposal is 56 feet, or 55 and change. I believe that the zoning commission looked at this and said, we're going to compare this building to existing buildings. I think it is appropriate and would be legitimate for the board here to look at the regulation itself and look at the measures that we have attempted to include relative to the regulation and relative to the overall site, and find that on balance, this is an appropriate use and an appropriate design. As I mentioned before, the design of the building is very intentional. And that is why and Mr. McCormick and Mr. Wright have both, as I said, they've both been very transparent and said, look, you guys were at the zoning commission, you know what the result was. Do you have any response to that? And unfortunately, our response, unfortunately or fortunately, our response is more explanation and hope, and I hope that you all will look at the good of the entire community, the need to provide more opportunities for people to age in place, and frankly, look at the development compared to the regulation as it exists. I'm happy to take any questions. Jared Burgess with Marion is here, Bill Skiba, he's with Kimley Horn. If you have specific plan questions, I'm going to ask Bill to answer those, because he's going to be more qualified to do so than I am. But thank you all.
Thank you. Do you have something right now, Trustee Dills?
Mr. Ashburner,
Yes.
do you live here in Cincinnati?
No.
Oh, which part of town you live in?
No, I lived in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, I appreciate you making the
Okay.
trip up here. Thank you, thank you. So I'm gonna hear your other two guys as well. Probably be prepared for all three of you or one of you to come back up after you hear the proponents that are against your case, so then maybe you can
Sure.
answer the residents' questions and all that stuff as well. So I do have a handful of questions I want to ask, but you all might answer them with the other two gentlemen. But I would just say, so we already swore you in, after the residents speak, most likely against your case, most likely.
That's okay.
I'd like, you'll probably just come back up and, we'll have you respond and answer their questions if you could as well. So
Okay.
that's all I have, Trustee.
Hey, thank you. Trustee Becker? Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Did you,
Anything
either of
you
your
wanna
other
add?
applicants come up, or you'll wait? That's fine. We can move to proponents and then opponents. Are there any proponents of this case? Proponents? Okay. Opponents? Ma'am, with the orange scarf, I saw your hand shoot right up.
The
question for y'all right up first.
I gotta swear you in.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Great, thank you. Please share your name for the record and your address.
My name is Jane Pierman. I've been a Union Township resident for 11 years. I live on Tecumseh Drive. And to be fair, I live at the very last property that this development would touch. I'm only looking at probably 30 feet of this in my backyard,
Okay.
as opposed to my neighbors who would have the whole backyard. I sent you all a letter because I couldn't be here for the zoning commission meeting because my granddaughter made 6th in the United States on the volleyball team for Mesa Junior. I was busy in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Oh, awesome.
So I have a few comments. I'm just going to work off the department report from Mr. McCormick. Number one, 80 acres. 80 acres in that area have no tall buildings. It's on the report. Okay, number one. Number two, although the proposed project is considered to be more of an institutional use than multifamily, it is similar in nature, not out of character. I'm sorry, I think an institution is very much out of character with residential properties. The Beechwood Villa apartments on Beechwood Avenue Road, right down the road, are about 2 1/4, 2.5 stories. Their first floor is partly underground. So they're probably 27, 28 feet tall. That's the tallest building in the area there. For the record, as far as aging in place, I retired under Ohio Public Employees Retirement, which I think you probably all will retire under, and I make too much income to qualify for this building. If I wanted to retire and move to my backyard, I would not be able to do so. It's a low income, $50,000 maximum income resident rate. I don't know if you all were aware of that. As to the 20-foot buffer, I don't know where you live, but I don't think 20 feet from anything is enough of a buffer. I really think that's a boo-boo. Then we get into single-family detached back, okay. We talked about that these residents would probably turn over every 2 to 3 years. Do you realize what a transient population that would be? Moving in and out every 2 or 3 years, new tenants in, new tenants out. Just a thought. 118 units. I think this is interesting. We only have 60 parking places, but all the residents are permitted to bring a vehicle. Are we not allowing for that? And what about on a holiday? If all the kids want to come and see the grandmas, you got 118 families wanting to come and visit the relatives, and there is going to be available maybe 30 spots because the staff gets the first 25 or 30 spots. That doesn't seem adequate to me for that size building. Under the staff review and analysis, Mark wrote something to the effect that a review of the proposed development indicates the plan results in a positive redevelopment of a site. I would disagree with that. I don't think it's in our best interest to have a commercial building in our residential area. Okay, we got 1.99 acres of open space out of the 4-acre lot, which means 2 acres of impervious surface. I don't know if anybody looked at the topographical map yet, but Tecumseh and properties to the east of this development are definitely lower level. I mean, I get water in my yard like ankle deep every rain. Big rains, it's really ugly. I don't think anybody looked at the topography of this yet, but supposedly we're going to store all that impervious rainwater collection underground under this building. I find that hard to believe that that would be possible. Maybe, I don't know. It doesn't, this plan does not meet all the requirements of the plan development application requirements of the PD district plan. And I want to suggest to you that why don't we stick to our plan? That's not what it's for. I'm embarrassed to tell you, when I was in college at UC, we took a bus trip, my planning and development class took a bus trip out to Mount Carmel before you actually called us Union Township. And we were told this is what not to do. We had a strip club on Old 74. We have,
Took a bus trip through
well,
there.
well,
That's
I mean, you
awesome.
know, I'm like 19 years.
Don't do this.
19
Okay.
years old, and that's what they were telling us. This is what happens when you don't plan your development in your community. And I don't want us to go back to that. I lived in Hamilton County up until 11 years ago, and I worked for Crosby Township. When they broke away from Hamilton County, I was the township administrator, and we rewrote a zoning code specific to Crosby Township. And they made huge buffers, and they have a lot of industry out there. Very concerned about buffer zones, so you don't have a house next to a beer drive-through, next to a 4-story senior living place. You know, you buffer them, and you do it in zones, and that's what you wrote that for. And I really think it would be in the best interest of this township to stick to that. And I thank you for listening to me.
Mr. Leclerc.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Ms. Pearman, thank you for coming up. And so I'm betting that a lot of the other residents will have the same concerns you just brought up.
Absolutely.
Is there any way, if you were in our position, that you would approve this?
If it was a ranch, absolutely. If it was low level,
Okay.
absolutely. Oh, you know what I didn't bring up to you was the safety. 40 miles an hour on Beechwood Road. Try to come out of Tecumseh Lane at 5 o'clock on a weekday. When all the big factories and facilities open up down on Broadwell Road, they close, and the shifts change. I mean, we can wait 5-10 minutes to get out of the drive. And I can tell you, I don't know if you're allowed to put that map back up with the view to the north and the south on Beechwood. Blind curve in either direction.
So, Ms. Pearman, by the way, this goes for all the residents as well. I'm going to ask you the same question. If you were in our shoes, what would you do? So, are you A, are you a hard no, hell no, we don't want it? Or B, we want it, however, here's what we want. You know, like the height level and the buffer zones and all that. So my question would be is.
I'm a hard no. If you look, that's all driveway around the back, and where it faces Tecumseh, there's like an inlet in the building where they're gonna have their dumpster. Right up against the back of my neighbor's property is the dumpster. So what, once or twice a week, we're gonna hear the big thing coming up, empty a dumpster? I mean, it's a nice piece of property. I think you could probably put 4 or 5 family homes there, but I just think this is a really poor use for that little piece of property.
Okay, thank you. Trustee, you good? Trustee Becker?
I have no questions.
Okay,
Ms.
thank you.
Pearman, hey, thank you very much, and I think your history and your experience there, as you shared with us as being a prior township administrator, shows.
Okay,
So thank you for sharing that, and other residents coming up, you're always more than welcome to share what you want to come up and share during public hearing. But if you agree with a lot of the sentiment or the specifics that she just identified, I've been making notes, I think he's been making notes, so you can hear that we're hearing your voice, and
Well, I
we
just,
can,
would you want it in your backyard? Think about it.
I've got
I
my
mean,
own stories of that, and that's part of the reason
You
why
know,
I'm
we're
up
your
here.
little taxpayers, we've been voting you in.
I hear you.
We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pearman. Let's see here. Bill, oh, hold on. I'll save that. Who else do we got here? I'm sorry, I got mixed up. Who else wanted to speak on the, yes, sir, please in the back. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, please state your name and record for the address, please.
Hi, my name's Rick Meyer. I live on 473 Tecumseh Drive. I'm at the end of the street along with Jane. I have a lot of the same concerns that she has. Mine are the watershed as well. Because, like she said, when it rains on our street, it's like a small river in our backyard already. And they're posing a water retention under the ground for all this water to go somewhere. Every business I've ever seen has always had to have a water retention pond to hold this water. Like Jane said with the topographical map too, there's a natural running creek behind that building, or behind us as well, that they're gonna be changing to where they're gonna propose to put this building. So, and then from the top of our street to the end of the street where we're at is a probably good 10 to 15-foot drop. So they're talking about putting a 4-foot berm and put landscaping there. That building's still gonna overtower all of our houses at the end of the street, no matter what you put in there. Well, it's always gonna be over us. So that's our biggest concern, is that, and, you know, just like Jane said, the dumpster behind us and everything else. We've never had that in the past. I don't understand why we want to rezone it to have a building like this when it could be housing versus a four-story building that's just out of place. But Jane, she covered most of the topics, so I don't want to go back over the same things over and over. So that's just my feeling. I'm a hard no on it as well. So, yeah, I just don't see it working there.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Trustee Dills or Trustee
Thank
Baker?
you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Meyer. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else that's an opponent? Any more opponents? No one that wants to speak, but are you here as an opponent? I just want to visualize. All right. Okay, all right, all right. All right, thank you.
Before you close, can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Since no one else, I'm surprised, I thought we were going to have another hour long of public comments on this. Raise your hand if you're against this development.
I'm against it.
Okay, okay, fair enough, okay, all right, just, yes, ma'am, got it, okay, no problem.
Okay. All right, so we've heard the applicant, proponents, opponents, so we'd like to bring the applicant back up. You've heard now some of the comments from residents.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and other trustees, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna run through a couple of the points that I heard, and then I'd like Bill Skiba to get up and talk specifically about drainage.
Yep, that's what we'd like for you to do. Thank you.
I can attempt it, but it won't go well. So, the first thing, Ms. Pierman, and the comments that we heard were comments that we have heard already. And Ms. Pierman mentioned this is low income. So this is an affordable assisted living facility. It is being financed, hopefully in conjunction with the Ohio Housing Finance Agency. It will be available to people who make the 60% of the area median income. Yes, there are people who will not qualify to live here because they have too much retirement income. But when you think about what 60% of the area median income means, that means that there's a midpoint, and you basically are saying to a third of the people, you can't, you know, you're out. I think that allowing for services that are very high-quality services in a very high-quality building, allowing that to be available for more people is probably better. This property is also in what's called a qualified census tract, which means that 50% of the households in this census tract are at 60% of AMI. I don't expect that qualification is gonna survive 2026. So that's part of the reason that we're here before you tonight, is because of the urgency of having that, being able to develop in the qualified census tract that does affect financing for the person.
Mr. Ashburn, I'll
Yeah.
save you some time.
Go.
The income has zero effect on me.
Okay.
My mother, who's the greatest woman in the world, would qualify for yours. And low-income housing for a 30-year-old compared to those of 70-plus-year-old, I think is night and day. So
Yeah.
personally, my vote has nothing to do with the low income of senior citizens. Yeah, so just for what it's worth, I think that's the least of your worries.
Okay,
I think
I
it's
just wanted
probably
to
the height,
explain
the
that.
buffer, the
Yeah.
drainage. But as far as me, low income has nothing to do with it, because a senior citizen, again, low income, my mother would qualify.
Mm-hmm.
And so anybody that's against my mother can, you know, right, so for what it's worth. So low
Right,
income has
I
zero,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
don't worry about the low income part.
Okay, I just wanted to explain that. When it comes to parking, I did not bring this because this wasn't brought up as a really prominent issue, but Marion conducted a parking study at the Columbus, Indiana location, looking at parking counts every hour over the course of several days. The most, I think, the most cars that were in the lot at any given time was 42. So we were at well below the 60 threshold. It is mostly people who are working there, who are utilizing the parking, and the busiest time is around the time where you have the morning shift and the evening shift overlapping. So we feel very confident that the 60 figure will accommodate the need for the use. Now, I'm going to ask Bill to come up and explain drainage, and then I'll wrap up.
Thanks, Bill.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and your address.
Bill Skiba, 7965 North High Street, Columbus, Ohio.
Thanks.
So I wanted to piggyback off of Cliff here and speak a little bit on drainage, what's happening on site. So for us to develop our property, we are going to have to pursue permit from Claremont County. Claremont County publishes a water management and sediment control manual, which stipulates a critical storm method for which we're going to have to detain runoff on site. The point of our design is to improve the site, and what the critical storm method is going to allow for us to do, and really force us to do, is in proposed conditions, we're actually going to have to restrict what's releasing from our site at the most downstream point. We're going to have to restrict that back to a more restrictive storm year event in the existing conditions. So what that means is, let's say, for example, during the 100-year storm event, the critical storm method might say, hey, in proposed conditions, you actually have to hold that back to what's happening here today for the 1-year storm event. So we're going to be improving upon existing conditions with what's most likely going to be an underground stormwater chamber system, for which we're going to work with Claremont County for the permit for that. Then it's going to handle quantity for that critical storm regulation and quality for the Ohio EPA requirements. Happy to answer any questions on that. I know I got a little technical there, apologies, but happy to dig in.
No, great at presenting on it, thank you. Trustee Dills, Trustee Becker? All right. Yeah, I'm probably with you. I think that if you're just talking about like what's the most significant item here, it's probably the height and harmony of the community. Not to do with the LMI, not to do with the
Yeah, if this was
finances,
low-income
not to do with
housing
the
in
water.
general, I would, very,
So-
yeah, but a senior citizen, that doesn't make much money, that doesn't, or assisted, that doesn't bother me, so.
Institutional,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So just last couple of comments. First and foremost, again, I appreciate the work of your staff. I appreciate every public comment. I know those are heartfelt, and I hope that if there are opportunities for us to work together, for Marion to work in union, that this has been a positive experience for everybody, no matter how the vote comes out. I hope the vote comes out one way. Most of the people in the room hope it comes out the other way, and I acknowledge that. I think you all have a choice to make, and that choice is between, do we want to look at things from a broader community standpoint and say, we need to have more opportunities for people to age in place, and we understand that may cause concern and disappointment for a few people primarily on Tecumseh. I think that's what we heard from tonight. Or do we think that we really should make development match the area that it's currently in, or closely tied to the area that it's currently in? I think that you should look at the totality of it. I think you should look at the totality of the plan compared to the regulation, not just compared to what surrounds it. And that you should make a decision that provides more opportunity and more investment to the community. I think that your Plan 2030 supports that. I think the zoning code supports that when you look at the plan development requirements, the objective requirements that anybody can see. And so I would ask that you overturn the zoning commission's recommendation on those two conditions, that you approve the use in the form that we presented to you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Trustee Becker, do you have anything else?
I got a few questions for him.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Okay. How long ago was the first one that you developed in Indiana? How long ago was that? Ballpark, just ballpark.
5 years? Yeah,
Okay.
about 6 years ago.
My question was gonna be, what happens, because right now, there's always demographic shifts. What happens when there's no longer a high demand for assisted living? And how do you redevelop what you build now? So what you need now probably won't be a high demand in 20 years from now? Because obviously the baby boomer generation is the largest. So what happens in 20-ish, 30 years from now when these single, one-unit apartments, I'll call them, are no longer needed and there's not as much high demand? How do you repurpose it?
That's a good question, and it requires, I have to say, a lot of speculation. This building is purpose-built, right? So as I talked to you at the very beginning of this proposal, the building has been designed and built as an assisted living facility. It does not have many of the facilities in it that you would expect in independent living. How any building is repurposed in the future, I think, I hate to say it, but is sort of an issue for the people in the future. I've worked with Marion. One of the biggest, actually most fun projects that I was ever able to work on was with Marion in Louisville. They repurposed an old cotton mill that had started life as a cotton mill. At the time that Marion purchased it, it was basically storage. It was actually storage for service members who were going overseas. So they had huge pallets that were wrapped in plastic. They turned that into one of the nicest loft-style apartment communities in Louisville. I doubt at the time that the cotton mill was constructed, or even when it was repurposed into a warehouse, that anybody thought that it was going to become multifamily. So that's the answer I've got for that one.
From the ones that you've built in the past, what other development have you seen show up around the surrounding area? Or if any at all, or none?
You want to answer that one? Is it okay if Jared comes
Sure,
up
you
and
just gotta
answers that
swear in.
question?
Yeah.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And please give your name and your address for record.
Jared Burgess from Marion Development, 11701 Commonwealth Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, 40299. So our existing facilities, they're in, if you look at the surrounding areas, they're different areas, right? Columbus, Indiana is more of an urban setting. Bivera, Jeffersonville has a diverse number of uses around it, single-family homes, commercial uses, right? We have a site under construction now over in Coleraine Township on the other side of Cincinnati. So in terms of spurring other growth, I would say, it's whatever was in place prior to our Vibera facilities being built. We continue to see that same development pattern. Meaning we're not disturbing or heavily influencing the development that's currently existing. Are we seeing Walmarts being built next door? No, but I don't know if I answered your question there, but.
I got it, I understand. And then, okay, just a few. So, I'm guessing, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I assume I'm right. The reason why you can't go with what zoning recommended was simply because the number of units, just the dollars and cents won't make sense. Is that basically they approved you for 33, is that correct? 35 foot, and you all need 55. I assume the reason why is dollars and cents, just not enough rooms. Is that correct?
That is a factor, and along with that, when you talk about removing units, we would have to drastically reduce the programming and the amenities and things of that nature we're offering throughout the building, and that's not something we want to do for our future residents.
Is there any height that you can make other than 55 feet work? So they said 35, you're saying 55. Is there a meet in the middle at all?
We want to be good partners, good neighbors, right? But that height is what we would need to move forward.
Okay. Your floor heights are 12 feet, right?
Our floor height, we actually have from internally in the building, floor to ceiling, we have 10 feet on the first floor, and the upper 3 floors are 9 feet.
Okay.
So that additional footage you see to get to 55 would be the infrastructure and the mechanicals between the floors, and then, of course, the parapet at the top.
Can you go below ground?
We cannot.
Okay, all right. What about, okay, can you flip the site at all to, because Ms. Pierman brought it up, the 20-foot buffer that's close to her and her neighbor's house. Can you flip the site at all so there's an increased like residential, are you able to flip it at all to where there's a little bit more? By the way, I wrote down, don't worry, I saw your graph, 5 feet to 24 feet, 10 feet's our requirement, 23, 20 to 54, 20 to 55. However, on hers is 20 feet, and you are, I believe you are utilizing that 20-foot zoning.
I think,
Maybe I'm incorrect
I
on
think
that, but,
Ms. Pierman might have misread the plan. There is a 20-foot requirement in that area that is where you see the landscaping actually on that plan.
yeah.
But the distance is the 55 feet. So to the curb line from the property line is 55 feet.
I see.
Is that right? Curb line? Yeah. To the building, yeah, sorry.
All right, so the buffer zone looks like it's landscaping. If in the event, because I don't live here. I don't live there in that Mount Carmel Beechwood area. So this does not affect me personally on a day-to-day basis at all. Right? It's all about them. In the event we were to approve it, in the event, hypothetical, can we let them pick the buffer? Whether it's a tall fence, a tall white fence, whether it's hill mounds, whether it be a buffer zone of a no-mow zone, whatever it is they want.
Yeah.
If they, can they pick what they want? As far as the buffer of what's in between y'all's property and theirs?
I
Is
wouldn't
there
want.
anything against that?
I would just want to clarify your question.
Yeah.
If the, or, let me,
If they get one spokesperson.
Buffering would have to be
themselves.
worked through administrative
But I mean-
staff
I mean-
no,
approval
that's right.
with
I just want
inputs
to make
from
sure
residents.
we don't end up with 5 different buffers.
No, just one.
Okay.
So they rally the troops,
Yeah.
and they get one person to be their spokesperson. They contact our administration team, and they agree on, we want a 10-foot tall white fence. We want hill mountains. We want a no-mow zone, basically just natural, in trees and grass and landscaping, whatever.
Yeah.
Or trees, whatever, I don't care. No, it's just whatever they want, would you all be okay with that being the buffer fence line, if you will?
Certainly within reason. So
Okay.
if the menu is fencing, berming, landscaping, or a combination of those 3, I think that's something that Marion can agree to.
Okay.
Obviously if they come back and want a 25-foot wall,
Sure.
that's something different.
And I assume these lights are, night lights, correct? That they propose those,
Yeah,
There would have to be a photometric plan, and they
Yeah.
would have to have a half-foot candle at the property lines that abut the residential properties, which is no different than in that scenario,
Okay.
neighbor to neighbor, what you would see on a typical property.
okay.
Yeah, and I should have clarified this at the beginning. I think there were 7 conditions that were listed in the recommendation, other than the additional 2 that the zoning commission put on. We're fine with all those conditions.
Okay.
As they existed in the staff report when we went to the zoning commission.
Gentlemen, I think that's all the questions I have for him.
Trustee Becker?
Yeah, so do you intend to, when you're excavating, how much of the grading are you going to be doing on the property? Are you going to, level everything and start from a flat surface, or are you going to leave as much of the vegetation, trees that you can, or what's the plan for that?
So right now, we are proposing full disturbance of the site, but I believe it was mentioned in the previous hearing, some potential no disturb with, I believe, like a 5-foot proximity around the outside of the property. We may be able to make that work, but right now we are showing full disturbance up to the property line. So how we envision this finishing out would be a consistent finished elevation for the building footprint, and then tying out to existing grades on either side, and we have quite a bit of grade to make up.
Okay. Because I did a drive-by, and I didn't get out and walk the property, but I really couldn't tell, I guess, how nice it looks, or if it does, in terms of what's back there now. But you know, with a lot, you just couldn't see it live from the street. That's my only question.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Gentlemen, at this time, we'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
The public hearing is closed at 7:45 PM.
All right, open it to board comments. For you, ask questions, but I may go over this way. See, he's been writing up notes. Do you want to go? You want to speak? You're gonna
Well-
hear this gentleman's mind.
Well, if it's okay,
I thought you were digesting info stuff.
no, I do actually, but so, Mr. Becker, and I say this with respect, this is your, your demographic a little bit more than mine and Mr. Logue's. And then, by the way, our sincere condolences on your mother.
Thank you.
Mr. Becker's mother passed away just recently, and and I know you visited her almost every day, right?
When she was in Milford.
Yeah, yeah.
Some Haven for the last 3 years.
Yeah, wasn't she almost 100 years old?
102.
102?
104.
104.
Oh my
I'm sorry as well.
gosh, incredible. So you, and I say this just with respect, it's just factual. Your mother lived in a similar facility, kind of. So I actually am I want to hear your perspective on this
Sure.
and your thoughts, and obviously Mount Carmel development, senior living. So what are your thoughts?
I have 2 reference points, one of which is Some Haven that I just mentioned, where she lived her final 3 years. That's a skilled nursing facility, what most people think of as a nursing home. And, you know, I think of that facility, it is in a residential area, but it's all 1 story, has a pitched roof. It, you know, and it's kind of nestled back in, there's a lot of acreage back there. It's next to a cemetery on one side. So it's kind of I would describe it as fairly rural, considering it's actually inside the city of Milford, but on the edge of it. The more relevant reference point I have is prior to her going there, as the developer has described, an assisted living is more of that halfway or that bridge point. And she's lived for 6 years at a place, at the time it was called Elmcroft of Florence. And while she was there, it sold and became known as Inspirations of Florence. So, yeah, I was out there once a week when she was in Florence for 6 years. And that's a very nice looking facility. It's, you know, from the street level, it's 2 stories. Got a pitched roof. I'm looking at it right now online. If anybody wants to look it up at Google Maps, it's 212 East Main Street in Florence. And Some Haven's 225 Cleveland Avenue in Milford. If you want to look those up on Google Maps and get the street view. But you know, the curb appeal of this facility in Florence is very pleasant. And the inside is equally pleasant. The facility that we're considering, the inside, I would say, is similar. The outside curb appeal is dramatically different, though. I do concur with the developers in terms of, you know, parking and traffic, because my experience is for 6 years, being there once a week, there wasn't a whole lot of traffic. You know, I remember there was one resident who had a car. There may have been more than one. I just remember one in particular. So, and I think the number of units is similar in size. I could be wrong about that. You know, so people coming and going as staff and visitors. The residents, not so much. You know, part of it on the lower level was their memory care unit as well, where they were actually on lockdown. So, you know, you know what the zoning commission did in terms of actually their recommendation makes it more similar to Inspirations of Florence, which again is a very nice curb appeal. And when I was first considering this, when this first came to my attention, this project, I was skeptical. But on these types of things, I like to gather all the information, hear both sides before making a decision. And I've done that tonight. So, based on, so I guess I'd say what the zoning commission did, I could have been arm twisted into approving that. I would describe as a lean yes. The developer made it clear that's a deal breaker. So, for me, the proposal, as proposed, and what we're considering this evening, to me, I'm going to side with residents. I'm a hard no. That's all, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Dills?
What are your thoughts?
Well, when you think of the project and the housing stock in Union Township, yeah, I likewise can very much picture or imagine, my dad passed 3 years ago at 93, and so I was in and out of a couple different, cause it was relatively quick, but just going through the life cycle planning of that with your parents, my mother's 87, and she would totally, this would be, the project or the design or the development itself would be something, that would be like a pleasant solution for low income. And so it'd be great to have something like that. I totally understand that. And I hear the applicant share that the 35-foot does not work. I'm assuming that that's limited based off of financials. We can't base the judgment of the zoning decision based off of their financial constraints for the project. And I do completely recognize the residents' belief in the zoning that's in place. And you know that there's R2 and R1, and this PD changes, I'd say, that from what would be the height and the harmonization within the community. So when I hear the applicant's plan, I mean, I think it's definitely something that is in need, and that's what you're looking for, and that's also why you target the census tract, low, moderate income, that gives you better financing. That's all great and all. I think that's going away in 2026, you're saying. It seems like we're pretty much in an artificial, for us, timeline. We can't make a decision based off those financial constraints. And I do think that not hearing that there's any room to give or take, I don't know if the applicant had shared if they'd even materially reduce the height to 40 feet, 42 feet, if that's something that they're able to do. But it sounds like that it was a no. So I'm just not seeing much room in this equation. And as the applicant said, want Marion to work in Union Township. I think it'd be great to have him work somewhere in Union Township, and we look at the whole broader community in that type of position. Just to me, it does not seem that this site actually works for that project. I would love it if we have a cotton mill. I mean, we'd love to work with you in this township and for what projects or properties that may be. I can definitely see both sides around on this one. But I'm absolutely falling in line with the recommendation with our zoning commission, what the residents, believe that they kind of buy into when they move here. I'll hear your thoughts.
whenever we have a case that comes up, if it's simple, I'll spend about 30 seconds on it. You know, for example, we voted on, remember when Chase Bank moved and they wanted like a little bit of a signage variance? I looked at it for about 20 seconds and I'm like, I don't care, it's fine. And whenever we have a big case like this, I really spend hours and hours dissecting everything. And so I've done just that on this. I talked to the owner of the VA building on the phone last week and got his perspective, which is right there on 32 in Beechwood. And, you know, and got his perspective. And called a couple residents back there that I knew as well, got their perspective. Now, the owner didn't care. He was like, it doesn't bother me. But the other two residents that I knew of was kind of in line with you folks as well. I will say this, and Mr. Wright, he was talking to me and showing me, he's like, there's a big demand for assisted living. There's a big demand for it, guys. And also, I do think we need something. The reason why I asked the question about what happens when you build, what comes with it, we did a survey, and Mount Carmel, I read on that Mount Carmel, I don't get on social media very much, that's more of a John Becker thing, but everybody on the Mount Carmel Facebook page is saying, do something Mount Carmel, do something Mount Carmel. Obviously, we've got the new bar restaurant over there. This is in the Mount Carmel area, I consider it. And so we do need to do some stuff in Mount Carmel. It's got to happen, because the survey we did conducted came back and said, y'all need to do something about Mount Carmel. So unless you all want us to just go and buy all the properties up there and do it ourselves. But so I appreciate you picking Mount Carmel. This is a $45 million investment, and you want to dump it right in Union Township, and I really appreciate that. It is a very pretty build. I would agree it doesn't necessarily fit the neighborhood. So I would say the outside would need to be changed. But the building's beautiful, guys. I like it. I appreciate you guys holding what I'll call a town hall style meeting as well. Not a lot of folks will come outside of the zoning meetings I'm talking about. I really respect that. That was great for you guys to put that on. And then also, you know, for example, I saw the buffer zones. I don't need to say what directions, but you know, our limitations are 5 feet. You're given 24 feet on one side, 10 feet on one side. You're given 23 feet. 20 feet is our requirement. You're given 54, and 20 feet, and you're given 55. So I mean, you're working much more than what our requirements are. And the fact that you're willing to say, hey, residents, pick whatever you want around our building, and basically as long as it doesn't mess things up, it doesn't, you know, no curveballs, you can pick whatever you want. That is somebody I want to work with. I got to tell you, my suggestion is for the sake of this, I'm going to be in line with these two. However, you got me. I like it, and I wish. That's why I asked, can you build it a little bit further down? Can you do anything else? I guess pick a different spot in our township, but there's only so much dirt left in our township. So, but I mean, you guys are friends. You guys, I appreciate everything you did on the town hall, and willing to work with them as far as the buffers and letting them pick the landscape or the fencing. That's what I want in a business when they come in here, is to be neighbors. So, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you, and you can just give me a head nod, because we already closed the open session, is would you like me to table this and you all go back to the drawing board? Or would you like, if we vote it down, it is what it is, we move on? Sure.
Chairman.
Yeah. What's that?
Thank you.
I'll be brief.
Well, I mean, we already closed public comments, but basically, would you like me to table this? Because you've already done all the requirements coming up here, and see if you can't go back to the drawing board and redo your drawings?
He can,
Or we vote on it right now?
he can answer the question.
Yeah,
We'd request a table if you'd be willing to do that.
okay. No problem, that's all I did. So my suggestion is you're gonna have to redo the outside design. It's gotta look more friendly with the neighborhood, and you're gonna have to lower your building. That's all there is to it. Either build lower into the ground, or figure it out like Mr. Becker said with his mother and do 2 stories, or else it's not gonna pass, just so you know. So, that's my temperature. I mean, we're open to, we can talk about whatever we want. This is open discussion. So my temperature, and you can read the room. And look, this is their home. They live here, and both of you don't live in Cincinnati. So I've got to do an act on the residents and vote on their behalf. And I think, first off, of course, they don't want you all to build in that beautiful forest that they have in their backyard. Of course, they don't want you to. But you're gonna have to level it down. And I think also, if you agree with their buffer of whatever's between their property and yours, and change, can you change the outside to just, for example, like Mr. Becker was talking about, a little more neighborhood appealing? Because if this is on the corner of 32 and Beechwood, whatever, but you are smack dab in the middle of all those residents. And so it does look like an apartment building style in the middle of all these residential homes. So that's my thoughts. So if you think you can go back to the drawing board, great.
Yeah, go ahead.
My parting comment is, you know, we've talked about the affordability piece and the financing.
Yeah.
This is a pending application at the state agency as we speak.
Okay.
And with the expiring qualified census tract, you know, it's 2025 qualified, 2026 is projected to be eliminated. This is essentially,
This is it.
it happens now, or, you know, tablings, I appreciate that.
Okay.
But where we're at
Yeah.
now is, if it happens, I wish there was another alternative. But
When-
for us to proceed, we would need approval this evening. Without that, this project
It's okay,
doesn't
I
happen.
get it, guys. Yeah. Y'all been great, I really appreciate you very much. It's gonna have to be lowered, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
Appreciate your
Yeah,
consideration.
No problem, guys, yeah. Mr. Chairman, that's all I got. Call vote?
So, well,
Oh, sorry.
so we talked about tabling and them voluntarily.
He needs it this year.
He doesn't want to take it.
So it won't table? Yeah, okay. All right, so no need to do either of those. Okay.
Chairman,
Yeah.
can I make
Yeah,
another
yeah, I
comment?
definitely want to hear it, yeah.
What I'm looking at on my computer is the Inspirations of Florence, and I just want to show it to my 2 colleagues, and anybody can look this up on Google Maps. Again, it's 212 East Main Street. What I want you guys to see is, I guess, the difference in
Yeah.
comparison, you know, the curb appeal of that facility versus what we're considering this evening. And that's in a commercial area. It's next to a post office, there's a church across the street, and it's kind of in the middle of Florence,
Just record, we pull the
the old portion of it.
outside drawing up? No, just the outside of what it was gonna potentially look like. Yeah, right there. So that looks more like an echelon to me. And what Mr. Becker showed is more like, in my opinion, what looks like more like a condo style, which I see. So, okay, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Becker.
That's all, Chairman.
And let me hear that timetable correctly. It's January 1st, 2026, whatever the census tract goes away for you?
That's correct.
Okay, I just want to understand that more, because again, I'm thinking of more broad for the community, and I know the LMI census tract, and if there's, again, I think you're hearing, we like your project, we just don't believe that it fits in that site right now, and I'm eternally optimistic, and so I'm thinking of what are a couple other pieces of acreage that would be a better fit for that project, that would still get you the LMI, that would be in that area. So I know that's a lot to say when it's December 9th, but I do have an idea or two. So I really do appreciate you guys as the applicants on this and the quality of the proposal. Union Township definitely needs additional senior housing. And we definitely welcome you to a more suitable location. So at this time, I'll ask for the motion to deny, because we can just do that, because are not subjected to Robert's rules. It's based off of our reorg meeting rules at the beginning of the year. So, do we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate
Gentlemen,
it.
thank you for your attention and details through it. Thank you. All right. Do you need 5 minutes for recess? Or are you gonna keep running?
Oof, yeah, actually, yes. Yes, Mr. Campbell needs it too.
All right, will you make a motion?
Yeah, gentlemen, entertain a motion to take a short recess.
Second.
A second, yeah.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Take a short recess at 8:06 PM.
A motion to return from recess.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker? Yes. And Mr. Logue?
Yes.
We'll return from recess at 8:15 PM.
Okay, great. Gentlemen, we'll move on old business. Seeing none, new business. Item alpha, consent agenda. Items 1 is approval of minutes. 1 alpha, November 18th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. 1 Bravo, November 18th, 2025 zoning meeting minutes. Item 2 is approval of payments as prepared by Mr. Campbell, fiscal officer. Item 3, approval of monthly financial report as prepared by Mr. Campbell, fiscal officer. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item Bravo, motion agenda. Item 1, approval of purchase orders. Do we have a motion to approve the purchase orders? And we'll let Mr. Wright introduce those.
You want to introduce them first, then approval?
Just go ahead and motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Wright, will you
Sure.
introduce?
First two I have are the Union Township Community Improvement Corporations. One is for economic development funding for acquisition of 4145 Old 74, the amount of $525,000. Second is economic development funding for 4404 Icoles Road, the amount of $182,700. Third is to Bricker Graydon miscellaneous legal fees, $29,000. Fourth is Super Creek for Station 50 concrete apron repairs in the amount of $46,000. I believe that is work that is concept originally, you get that done, they're gonna squeeze this in this year, is that correct? Okay, try to anyway, weather permitting. And then, the last one is to the Claremont County Treasurer for our 2026 road resurfacing program in the amount of $725,000.
Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
None.
All right, I get so used to discussions for purchase orders that I'd like to have you introduce them there. Roll call, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 2, collective bargaining agreement ratification. We're seeking a motion to approve the general terms as set forth within the signed tentative agreement to modify the collective bargaining agreement between Union Township Police Association patrol officers and Union Township Police Association Sergeants Divisions and the Board of Trustees of Union Township. Effective date 1 November 2025 through October 1, 2028, with the wages approved and stated therein effective March 11th, 2029, further authorizing the board to ratify and execute the final contract documents once all agreed modifications are incorporated therein. So approval and ratification shall specifically exclude any contract provisions or modifications applicable to Union Township Police Association Communications Dispatchers Clerks Division. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3, motion to accept maintenance and reporting Veterans Memorial Park helicopter. This is a motion to authorize the township administrator to execute any and all documentation required by the United States Department of the Army as to finalize the transfer of the Huey helicopter located at Veterans Park Memorial to Union Township for Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 640, and authorizing the continuing maintenance and reporting requirements associated therewith, subject to the issuance of the periodic purchase orders as approved by the board, and further authorizing the display of the equipment as Veterans Memorial Park for a continuing period of time. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
No discussion? Roll call.
Just
Yep.
want to make sure, so, it says, to transfer the helicopter, Mr. Wright,
Yeah.
are we moving it?
No, we're not moving it.
Okay.
What we're doing is Chapter 649 has the agreement with the Department of the Army to place the helicopter there, okay? So that dates back to the original placement of that. As they age out, they're trying to preserve the helicopter legacy, and they want to make sure that somebody's there, that an entity, a responsible entity, is there to continue the tradition and the maintenance and the reporting. There are reporting requirements and all that associated with the equipment loan. It's an equipment loan.
Basically government first equipment.
Yeah, so what that is, they approached us and said, you guys are already doing maintenance. Can you guys step in and take on the reporting of this as we, as our membership declines and, gets consolidated and all those things. So, it really costs us no more to do this other than a little bit of staff time. You go out and take pictures once a year, send something into the Department of the Army, maybe conduct some maintenance, which Matt is already routinely doing. I think we painted this year, correct? Which we're permitted to do. So, it's just really just a paperwork thing.
Good deal.
The Department of the Army wants us to vote on it.
Just want to make sure I was just going to get the word transfer clear.
Yeah, it's transferring
The paperwork.
paperwork,
Got
not
it.
transferring the unit.
All good.
All right, roll call?
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logan?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4, Union Township Christmas Tree Drop-Off Program. Motion to establish Union Township Christmas Tree Drop-Off Program, run January 1, 2026 through January 31st, 2026. The designated drop-off area is behind the service garage at 4312 Glenn Woodlands Road. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 5, 2026 Board of Trustees reorganization meeting date and time. Motion to establish the 2026 Union Township Board of Trustees reorganization meeting for Friday, January 2nd, 2026 at 4 PM. Is that the date and time that we want, gentlemen? Friday at 4 PM, January 2nd?
Yes, it's you.
Okay.
Mr. Becker, do you care?
No, I can make any day and time work.
Doesn't matter to me.
I've got a conflict later. It's installation at Lodge, that inspection at Lodge at 6.
You want to do?
I'm gonna go with that.
And we're,
That's a normal business day for us.
Right.
so you can't be here?
I can be here at 4, but I can't do 6.
Can't do earlier. No, that's what I'm saying.
I
Do we
can
want to
do-
do
I
earlier?
can
I'm
do
thinking, do
earlier.
we want to do earlier?
Well, I can do
or like
earlier.
January 1st, or?
Yeah.
Not January
Like-
1st, it's New Year's Day, but.
I know, but it's, yeah.
Earlier during the day.
Yeah, early Friday.
9, 10?
I don't know,
Yeah.
pick a time, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
Do it 9 AM?
10 a.m.?
If you guys are fine with 4, I'm good with 4. Go with 4. All right. I hadn't seen the date and time yet, so I wanted to make sure it was a good date for everybody. So, all right, sounds good. All right.
So we're sticking with 4 o'clock?
Let's stick with 4.
Got it.
Roger
All
that.
right.
Roll call. Do I have that motion?
I might
Yeah.
write no on this one now.
All right, do it. So make sure your schedules are all aligned, you know?
Okay. Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm Charlie, legislation agenda. You know, that's funny, that's the stuff, that's the very nature there for the public to hear, the fact that we're not allowed to talk township business to each other, and so sometimes you get these weird, haven't they talked? Like, well, no, because that would be violating their sunshine rules, so you get to see the sausage get made sometimes. Item Charlie, legislation agenda, resolution 2025-73, Union Township TIF districts, we're gonna table this one?
That was the request to table it,
Okay,
so
so we don't even need to.
need a motion to table.
So you do want a motion, okay.
Just a motion to strike it from the agenda,
Yeah.
modify the agenda.
Okay. Requesting a motion to remove resolution 2025-73 from the agenda tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We may want to table the next one too, considering.
Yeah, okay. Item 2, request a motion to remove resolution 2025-74 from the agenda tonight.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3, resolution 2025-75, Union Township 2026 road resurfacing declaration. Adopt resolution 2025-75 declaring intent to complete resurfacing of certain township maintained roads within Union Township during calendar year 2026 without petition pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 5571.15 and authorizing township administrator to enter into execute agreements and all other documentation with Claremont County Board of Commissioners as required in furtherance thereof. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 4, resolution 2025-76, resolution adopting Union Township reasonable accommodation policy. This is a motion to adopt resolution 2025-76, adopting Union Township reasonable accommodation policy in compliance with the Federal Fair Housing Act and all other applicable state and federal laws as per an executed settlement agreement between Union Township and House Opportunities Made Equal Home. Do we have that motion to approve, gentlemen?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 5, Resolution 2025-77, amended FY 2025 permanent appropriations resolutions, adopting Amendment 25, permanent appropriation resolutions for calendar year 25 for Union Township. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 6, Resolution 2025-78, FY 26 permanent appropriations resolution. This is approving the calendar year 2026 permanent appropriation resolutions for Union Township. Do we have that motion to approve?
So moved.
Yes. Second. I did it again.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
I could do that in every
Motion
meeting.
carries.
It's getting late, Mr. Becker.
I know.
All right, gentlemen, that concludes the agenda there up to comments from board members. Trustee Dills, offer you time for some comments.
Mostly, I'm just looking forward to hearing about Mr. Becker's eating out arrangements and if he made sausage at all or whatever's going on over there. No, great year. Merry Christmas to everyone. I don't have much. That's it. So, nothing. Good to go.
Trustee Becker.
So, yeah, to continue my, my course in Cheapskate
I've
101,
been waiting all month for this.
to give the public an update on where I've been eating since the last meeting. So, at the last meeting, it was Chairman Lowe was laughing at me for
I was laughing at you.
considering Thanksgiving dinner at Arby's.
I don't think it was just him.
I don't know, it was the Thanksgiving dinner at Arby's or was it a steak dinner out at Arby's?
Dinner for two.
Oh, jeez.
Arby's Thanksgiving dinner was $11.68.
You really ate Thanksgiving dinner at Arby's?
Well, no, but it was a couple of turkey sandwiches. They were pretty good.
Do you want me to invite you to my Thanksgiving next year, Mr. Becker?
I'm always open to invitations. No, we had a really nice Thanksgiving, but we talked about the deep fried, whatever it was. Yeah, I did a couple of those. They were good. Long John Silver's dinner for two, $14.99. That was a BOGO. That was a nice salmon platter with the two sides, and buy one get one. Got a all right. White Castle dinner for two, $10.17.
You really ate at Whitey's?
I get carry out. Yes. I like this
I
little
think the
burger
last
thing.
time I ate at Whitey's was like college days at like 2 a.m.
I understand. Hey, I like patronizing Union Township businesses. I keep everybody afloat around here. Wawa, dinner for two, $12.92.
Dinner at a gas station.
Wawa's good.
Carry out?
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to eat it this one yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
My wife had a pizza, and I had I think it was called a half a hoagie or half a sub and a bowl of chili or something. And then my favorite standby every week, Gold Star Chili. Dinner for two, $9.80.
What episode of NCIS are you on from the library?
I don't know. So, I want to say maybe season 12? I'm not sure about that. And so, yeah, with that, I also just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and that concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I think it's been a great 2025. And honestly, I'm kind of reminded of that just as I get through the resolutions. Mr. Wright and the whole team, I'm seeing, 78 resolutions. I feel like that's about one of the higher numbers I've seen at the end of the year. So, what do you recall, Corey?
Oh, jeez.
Am I right or wrong? 78's kind of,
You're right.
you're getting up there.
that a lot?
That's a lot.
Yeah, you're getting up there. I mean, you're sometimes in the 50s.
Yeah, I was gonna say 50's about average.
Yeah. It could even be the high 40s, but yeah, so 78, just kind of, I'd say that that'd be a little bit of a metric there to the amount of turning and burning that you and the team have been doing. So thank you for the incredible efforts with that to move things forward for the township. I know that it's definitely sometimes a thankless role, but the community is just well served by all of you, from Chief Clemens, Chief Reese, Corey, Matt Taylor, Mark McCormick, you guys, thank you for what you've done throughout the year. And Lisa, thank you for that. So, I saw something with Thanksgiving that caught my eye. I wanted to ask our fire department about. Do we ever respond, have you responded to turkey fryer, fires?
You know, surprisingly, that's a popular thing that we see on social media and departments that are, you know, promoting the safetiness of those.
Yeah.
I don't recall any recent years of any issues with turkey fryers, so I guess the outreach programs are working and people are using those in a safe manner.
Okay, that's great. I wanted to get your true perspective on that, if that was just kind of like a cool trending thing to do with fire departments, saying, hey, let's catch ourselves on fire with the turkey fryer so we can show people what not to do, or like the pros and cons of it. But if you want to don a suit and dip a frozen turkey in a grease fire, and later we can serve it to Mr. Becker, or, no. Totally your call. Sorry, that just came to me there. Totally your call. We could have.
I deserved it.
We could have Thanksgiving dinner here next year. So if you want to plan something around that, I don't know. Yeah, just you know, holidays are great for a lot of reasons, and also sad for a lot of reasons too. So if anyone's feeling that, feeling the pain at the holidays or loneliness, just know that you're not alone, and it's my faith and belief that if anyone you're missing, I believe you're going to see them again one day, and you just keep that in mind. So, with that, gentlemen, I'll move us forward here. Upcoming events. Union Township Board of Trustees will hold a special meeting on Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Purpose of which is to hold a second hearing and take action regarding the adoption of the proposed Union Township Resolution 25-72 levying additional annual license tax amount of $5 upon the operation of motor vehicles on the public roads and highways in unincorporated territory of the township for any unauthorized purpose as permitted pursuant to Section 4504.181 of the Ohio Revised Code. The proposed effective date for the collection of such additional license taxes January 1st, 2027.
Mr. Logan?
Yeah.
We actually vote on it that day too, correct? Is that correct?
December 9th?
That's how,
15th?
This 15th,
Yep.
the notice includes the public hearing and possible action.
And possible action.
And that is the only item that we are talking about
I
that day.
believe that's it on the agenda.
Like,
Yes.
we're not allowed to even talk about it.
Because it's a special meeting, it's the only we can talk about. It's the only we can, no, and great part to clarify that it's not just notice of the title of it, but that action is actually anticipated, right? Again, and just additional with that, it's a user's fee at the end of the day. Tax is the title, but it's a user fee. So, the Union Township Zoning Commission scheduled for meeting for December 17th, 2025 has been canceled due to a lack of cases received. Next scheduled meeting is scheduled for January 28th, 2026, 7 p.m. if cases are received for consideration. I think we're going to get busier as interest rates start to go down in the coming year. So, and as energy prices continue to drop. So I think that's all great things. Union Township Board of Zoning Appeals scheduled meeting for Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at 7 p.m. has been canceled due to lack of cases received. The Union Township Board of Trustees reorg meeting will occur on Friday, January 2nd, 2025 at 4 p.m. Union Township government offices will be closed on Thursday, December 25th, 2025 in observance of Christmas Day, and Thursday, January 1st, 2026 in observance of New Year's Day. Wish everyone in Union Township a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please consider utilizing the Union Township Retail Post Office, and
Mr. Logue,
those
just
are
a comment.
extra.
The 26th, I had a typo on the agenda.
Okay.
On the Friday, I'm sorry, Friday, January 2nd.
Yeah, January 20th, okay.
26th, sorry.
The migration?
No, yeah, I had where you had a
Yeah, Township.
reorganizational meeting, I had a 2025 there, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't catch that.
Well, yeah, I got that wrong then too. January 2nd, 2026 at 4 p.m. Thank you. Turn of the new year. Gentlemen, we'll enter executive session. Entertain a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121.22 golf. as follows. Item 1, to confer with attorney for public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of a pending or imminent court action pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, Golf 3. Item 2, preparing for conducting and reviewing negotiations and bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22, Golf 4. Do we have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
We're into executive session at 8:36 PM.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to return from executive session with no action taken.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
We're out of executive session with no action taken at 9:11 PM.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Dills?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Mr. Logue?
Yes.
We're adjourned at 9:11 PM.